YIC Training Video 2, Invention and Intellectual Property. What does it take to invent something? Firstly, you need to find the right problem to solve, and then take charge of your own problem. But this is not a test. You need to be willing to break down embedded patterns in you. That is, you should consider anything that is viable. But be aware of your own preconceived notions that could prevent you from looking at a possible solution. Consider a handkerchief. Consider what other possible use you might find for the simple handkerchief. For this to work, you need to suspend all judgment. Take whatever risk that is feasible and doable within reason, of course.
This year, the theme is Sustainable Development Goal, SDGs. What does it mean, Sustainable Development Goals? Sustainable Development Goals. That is, it must solve a current problem that we all face.
You will need to define, clarify, and articulate the issues surrounding the problem you seek to solve. For example, the common plastic bottle is very useful, but it also harms the environment in numerous ways. The lesson here, the solution that we often praise, sometimes create other problems, simply because we have not considered all the possible angles. So you might ask, how do I start? Firstly, you need to know that coming up with a product or solution is a process. It is not a static or a linear process. It is a journey which you pilot and dictate the pace and destination. Start your journey with defining the problem that matters most to you. Lao Tzu, the ancient Chinese philosopher, said, "A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." You can complete any journey one step at a time. First, break the problem down. Any problem at the onset may seem difficult, so you and your team will have to reduce the problem to manageable portions. Second, brainstorm possible solutions. Accept any ideas that you and your team might think of. At this stage, there are no right or wrong ideas, only ideas that you should put down on paper. As you build your solution, these are some issues you need to consider. Intellectual property, or IP. IP basically means that there is a form of protection for things that are intangible. This is very distinct from things that you can feel, touch, taste, like food, jewelry, buildings, etc. There are 5 areas of intellectual property. Copyright, things like music, books, art, or software, all of which can and have been protected by copyright laws. This rule protects both the creative process and the original. Patent, this aspect of intellectual property, protects things like inventions, apparatus, even methods of making something useful. This law protects the technical aspect of a product. Industrial design talks about the design of a product, the appearance of a product, all of which is protected by this law. This law guards the ornamental aspect of that product. Trade secret. This rule looks at what makes the product or thing unique. Think of the Kentucky Fried Chicken, a secret recipe that till today remains a secret. Lastly, there's the trademark rule. Any brand, name, or logo of a company can be protected by trademark law. Think of Microsoft, Jaguar cars, etc. This law safeguards any distinguishing features of a product. You must be shaking your head and wondering why this is important. Well, first, these laws protect your rights. What you have made is clearly yours. Your invention to win must be commercially viable. So these laws encourage economic investments in your project. Third, intellectual property will allow people to invest in your invention. Lastly, these laws promote people like you to invent things, to innovate, and to create something new. So, should you be obsessed with protecting your intellectual property? At this juncture, no. All you need to be aware of is that sometime later you will need to consider this issue. But remember to keep a log and a record book of the process and stages that will take you to your final solution. That will be the documentation to protect your intellectual property. But for now, all your creative juices should focus on identifying problems and possible solutions. YIC is a learning process. We aspire to inspire future inventors, which is you. So start inventing.